Year, gentlemen. Normally, I would say it's a Happy New Year for Patriots fans who are 13-3, undoubtedly one of the best teams in the National Football League, until a bunch of news came out. First things first, New England Patriots wide receiver Stefon Diggs is charged with assault. This was alleged by his former private chef, and a little bit less talked about because of Stefon Diggs. Christian Barmore, Patriots D-tackle, one day after Stefon Diggs had his alleged assault case, Christian Barmore faces domestic assault charge in Massachusetts. Now, head coach Mike Vrabel of the New England Patriots was asked how disappointing it was to deal with these accusations as they're headed to face Miami and then into the playoffs. Mike Vrabel said, "I would say not disappointing at all. I think that these are allegations. It's things that we have to handle in every day, that there are distractions. Some are smaller than others. We're confident that we'll focus on the Dolphins, and those two individuals that you mentioned will be able to handle the ongoing legal process." Vrabel said, "I don't care. We got football games to win." And honestly, this couldn't come at a worse time for the Patriots. These are two crucial members of the team. The question is, are these just allegations? Is there any seriousness to it? Will the players get in trouble? Let's talk about it. As always, if I'm going to talk about something on the internet, remember that the internet is the worst place on earth, and none of this is verified as true or false. It's simply the information that is publicly available. Please don't go be an idiot on the internet and claim you know stuff. Let's talk. Okay, I think the much bigger story is Stefon Diggs for multiple reasons. One, he's dating Cardi B. Supposedly, there's a Stefon Diggs girlfriend involved in this case. So let's start here. This is supposedly the statement made by the Dedham Police Department police officer who took the statement from Stefon Diggs' accuser. Stefon Diggs' accuser is a woman named Mila Adams, who was formerly a private chef for Stefon Diggs. I say formerly, obviously, because it'd be really funny if she was still cooking meals for him, but I find that very unlikely. Now, she walked into the Dedham Police Department, which is in Massachusetts, New England, on December 16th of this year, so a couple weeks ago. Mila Adams entered the station to report a past incident. She appeared emotional and was initially hesitant to give a statement. She went on to say that on the 2nd of December, she was working as a private chef. She said that on this date, the male that she worked for entered her unlocked bedroom. They had been having an ongoing text exchange over money owed to her. She said that at first, they began to discuss this, which apparently angered the male. She alleges that the male then smacked her across the face. She said that she tried to push him away, but the male tried to choke her using the crook of his elbow around her neck. She said that he was behind her with his arm wrapped around her, and that she did feel like she had trouble breathing and that she felt like she could have blacked out. She said that as she tried to pry his arm away, he tightened his grip. At that point, the male threw her onto the bed. He said something to the effect of, "Thought so." And then she told him that she still hasn't been paid. At that point, the male said, "Lies," and walked out of the room. She explained to me that he needs to sign off on payments in order for her to be paid, which is why she confronted him directly. The police officer then asked Mila Adams if she had documented any injuries when this occurred. She said that she had some redness on her upper chest area, but did not take photos. Now, I'm going to pause this story for a second and just give my opinions on what I've seen so far. First things first, the male she's referencing is Stefon Diggs. They even say that in this report. Mila Adams then revealed that the male's name was Diggs. Stefon Diggs currently plays for the New England Patriots of the NFL. Due to his fame, she was very hesitant to come forward with this. To be clear, the statement that we're reading is what the police officer is writing down as Mila Adams is telling this to the police officer. So initially, she's just saying this guy did this, and then some time passes, and finally, she's like, okay, it's not just some guy, it's Stefon Diggs. He's very famous. Now, I just gotta say, my initial reaction to her story is that it doesn't make a lot of sense. The first thing that's most shocking to me, Stefon Diggs comes into her unlocked bedroom. This seems to insinuate that she's living at Stefon Diggs' house to be the private chef. I find this really bizarre. It's not that uncommon that a private chef lives at someone's house, but normally you're a nanny. Normally you're taking care of the kids, you're cleaning the house, and you're cooking. For this woman to be living at Diggs' house just to cook, and he's not paying her? The whole thing is really bizarre. I'm not discrediting her statement. It's just bizarre. It's the first thing that jumps out to me. The second thing that is really bizarre to me is apparently Diggs smacks her in the face and then chokes her out to the point where she's almost going to black out, then throws her on the bed. And after that, she then told him that she still hasn't been paid. So allegedly, he's whooping your ass, and then when he's done whooping your ass, now you want to get paid? I'm laughing. It's obviously not funny if this is true. It's just such a bizarre story. You'd think if you were seriously, in fear for your life or scared of this guy who's clearly stronger than you probably, that's not the time to ask for the money. I don't know. I thought that was really weird. So the police officer then asks Mila Adams about her employment so that the police officer could better understand the relationship. She said that she began as a private chef on or around 7/20. So that is July 20th, meaning they would have had this private chef relationship from July 20th through August, September, October, November to December. And December is when the alleged assault occurred. She said normally she's paid by wire transfer and that the initial agreement was for a weekly payment. She said that since she's been working there, she has been getting paid monthly instead. As of now, she said that she still believes she is owed a month's pay. So this entire dispute, allegedly, is over 1 month's private chef pay. In early November, she was told by Diggs that her employment was not needed for the week of 11/7 to 11/14. November 7th to November 14th. This meant she would also have to vacate her room for a week because he was having house guests. He told her to go home, and she said he did not provide any financial assistance for a flight to, it's redacted here, but again, this is so weird to me. She's living at Stefon Diggs' house just to cook meals. Now, to be clear, I've actually personally inquired about a private chef. I've wanted a private chef my whole life. Frankly, ever since I had the bread for a private chef, I've wanted one. And all the private chefs I've ever spoken to, never once was someone supposed to live in my house. In fact, the entire thing was basically, you find someone local and they can come over and cook at your house, or they might meal prep for you and bring it to you in the morning or at night. I'm not an NFL player. I'm not pretending like I understand this world. I just find this situation so bizarre. So this woman allegedly is living at Diggs' house for 5 months? Just to cook breakfast and dinner? I make no other comment on it. It's just bizarre. So she's all pissed off that Diggs tells her to go home and doesn't pay for her flight. Okay. She told Diggs that since she did not ask to be sent home for a week, she should still be paid her salary. She said that this is standard in this type of work arrangement unless the employee asks for the time off. I don't know if that's true or not. I think this whole thing is weird, but okay. So now after the alleged assault on December 2nd, Mila Adams left her position and left the residence to stay with a friend. She said that on December 9th, a week later, she returned to the house to get her property. At that point, she texted with Diggs, who told her to take up the monetary sum with his assistant. She spoke to a Melissa from finance, who explained that Stefon Diggs had requested a signed non-disclosure agreement from Mila Adams before she could be paid. Mila Adams did not sign any such document. The police officer then told Mila Adams that we could proceed with an investigation and file charges. However, she said that she did not want any charges filed at this time. I told her that since she was the victim, an officer would be following up regardless. I also let her know that if her mind changed, we could certainly go ahead with further investigation and charges. The police officer also explained the process to her in regards to obtaining a restraining order. She said that she did not wish to seek one. She said that she just wanted to go home and had no intentions of returning. Mila Adams was also going to email me any screenshots related to this incident at her convenience. I also sent her the DV risk assessment form and strangulation suffocation forms via email. These were returned to me and added into the incident. Now, this is where it gets a little weird for me. And I'm going to be honest with you, infusing my own opinion into this seems a little irresponsible since we don't have all the facts right now. I kind of call bullshit on this one. I really do. This whole thing is so fishy, so bizarre. It's so bizarre. She's allegedly assaulted on December 2nd. Despite this, she just pulls back up to the house on December 9th. She's texting with Melissa from finance. All it seems that she's concerned about is getting paid for getting sent home or getting paid. It seems so much more serious than getting paid. And yet she doesn't want to press charges. She doesn't want a restraining order. She just wants to get... The whole thing is really bizarre to me. It's fishy. And until more evidence is surfaced, I don't know that I believe that any of this is true. Form your own opinion. Don't be a sheep, idiot monkey, okay? Form your own opinion. That's where I'm at with it right now. So then Mila Adams supplies screenshots of these alleged text conversations. However, the screenshots came from a different number than Mila Adams initially provided. So she provides this number that she's talking to Diggs on, and then her screenshots are with a different phone number. When the police officer inquired about the discrepancy, Mila Adams identified this as a number where she had communicated with Diggs in the past. On December 20th at around 9:45 a.m., the police officer spoke to Mila Adams over the phone. At that point in time, she still didn't want to press any criminal charges. Mila Adams then went on to say that earlier in the week, she received a voicemail and text messages from a female that she believed to be Diggs' girlfriend. Based on these messages, Mila Adams believed that Diggs somehow knew the police were contacted. The messages stated something to the effect of, "You don't need to do all of this, and it's not that big of a deal." Now, this I also found really bizarre. If she received a voicemail, it would be incredibly easy to provide that as proof. What this woman has, Mila Adams, is nothing at the moment. She didn't document the assault. She didn't document her injuries. She said she had redness on her upper chest area that she also did not document. She waited weeks to come forward with anything on this. This doesn't make her incorrect. This doesn't make her claims any less valid. She just doesn't have a case. I mean that from a purely evidence standpoint. I don't know. This is he said, she said. This is like playground gossip. Now, this alleged voicemail, shouldn't that just be sitting on her phone? And that alleged voicemail just says, you don't need to do all this. It's not that big of a deal. So that doesn't really help her either. If this really occurred the way she said it did, it's going to be very difficult for her to prove it. I guess that's what I'm saying. In an attempt to fulfill Mila Adams' request to contact Diggs, the police officer contacted Diggs at the number provided to me by Mila Adams. So the police officer gets Diggs' phone number from Mila Adams and then calls Diggs. Both the times the police officer called, it went straight to voicemail. Now, what you're looking at here is one of the screenshots that Mila Adams gave to the police, which is allegedly her conversation with Stefon Diggs. One thing I want to point out, all of this could be completely false and all of it could be completely true. I have absolutely no clue. I'm just reading to you what I have in front of me. So if you're psycho enough to go DM Mila Adams, dig her up, or you're psycho enough to go DM Stefon Diggs because you think you know what occurred here, you're a fucking idiot. I will admit that a lot of this text conversation is kind of ebonics. I actually don't really know what's being said here because I'm too fucking white. Diggs supposedly sends to her, having a texting match, you got it cool. And I can't really figure out the context on this. Mila Adams says to Diggs, "You will paying me out for the season and the money you said you would give me for my business. Wasted my fucking time being here because you got a fucking circus going on. I'm out of your life." I'm just going to say it. We're not dealing with high IQ individuals. We're just not. We're not dealing with high IQ individuals here. Diggs says, "I won't be paying you shit. Fuck I look like paying you and paying another chef. Is you high, bitch? Who the fuck gotta give you money for your business? I'm," nothing after that, "I don't gotta do a motherfucking thing, and you can get whoever you want. You got my address. Tell them come take the money, then fuck you talking about. Show me I'm pussy." It's funny. I don't care how serious it is. This is fucking hilarious. I don't know half of what was just said right there. Diggs and his attorney have released their statement regarding this. Stefon Diggs categorically denies these allegations. They are unsubstantiated, uncorroborated, and were never investigated because they didn't occur. The timing and motivation for making the allegations is crystal clear. They are the direct result of an employee-employer financial dispute that was not resolved to the employee's satisfaction. Stefon looks forward to establishing the truth in the court of law. The NFL also released a statement that read, "We are aware of the matter and have been in contact with the club. We have no further comment at this time." I'm going to be honest. With everything that I can see with my own two eyes right now, I agree with this. And this is why the power of an allegation, the power of an accusation is so powerful in our society. Everyone's making a statement. Everyone's on Diggs' ass. It'll be much quieter when the resolution to this case occurs. Whatever it is, it really doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter if They settle. Doesn't matter if she ends up being right. Doesn't matter if Diggs ends up being right. No one's really going to talk about it. Unless he gets suspended from the NFL, this really won't be brought up again. I mean, remember the whole Shannon Sharp paying some OnlyFans model shenanigans thing? You know, that's settled. That's already done. We don't talk about that anymore. That blew over so fast. It was such a big deal for 24 hours, and then nobody gave a fuck. So unless he gets suspended, no one's going to talk about this. This is pretty incredible, though. There's a January 23rd scheduled arraignment for Diggs should the Patriots advance in the playoffs. The AFC Championship is Sunday, January 25th, 2 days before the potential AFC Championship. He would be he's technically supposed to be there. He might not have to be. There's always some legal hijinks that these guys can do, especially when you've got infinite bread, when you have infinite money. It should be noted that, you know, the NFL has said he's available to play for now. And unless, in my eyes, unless something very serious randomly pops up in this, no shot he's not playing. I don't think he gets in any trouble. I don't think anything comes of this. If I had to take a shot in the dark right now, I guarantee they settle. This woman gets paid way more money than she's supposed to, and she never speaks about it ever again. I mean, once again, we don't know what happened, but I just think it's so funny to look at the memes for this. New England won the AFC East and now has a star receiver catching charges. The Patriots are officially back. He's charged with felony assault. I feel like this is such an aggressive headline. To charge him with felony assault is such an aggressive headline when, I mean, I guess he is technically charged with felony assault. Allegedly strangled and assaulted his personal chef over dispute regarding payments. There's got to be a smoking gun that we're missing, because basically this woman just said, oh, this happened. I don't have any proof, but it happened. And Diggs and his lawyer are going to go, no, it didn't. And then nothing's going to fucking happen. Like, upper redness in the chest area is what she claims and doesn't even have proof of. I could give myself upper redness in the chest area by going like this. I've got redness in the upper chest area now. Stefon Diggs beat my ass. Can I get paid? All right. I'm being aggressive. Now I'm being a dick. And we don't know what happened, so I need to settle down. What a day for the Diggs bros. Yeah, bro, fucking Trayvon Diggs got released and instantly picked up by the Packers. That's crazy, too. You got your classic little CTE gif. Which guy on this team would you least like to date your sister? That one aged like fine wine. You guys remember that, right? When he was on the Vikings. Alleged text messages show Stefon Diggs refusing to pay his private chef money she was owed prior to him assaulting her. You know, I genuinely have beef with this, too. I know it's a fucking meme page, but these text messages don't show him refusing to pay her. We don't know what the context is. Even if you believe these texts are actually between the two of them, apparently Stefon Diggs thinks there's two chefs. Fuck, I look like paying you and paying another chef. So clearly Stefon Diggs does not think, like, I don't know. I just have beef with this. Even the text here, the context, I just think it's irresponsible. There's so little context or information, and we're just lobbing out Stefon Diggs refusing to pay his private chef. Diggs family in doom and despair. Quick little wink out of the boy. Who on the team would you least like to date your sister? This has false allegations written all over it. Unfortunately, it looks like that. That doesn't make them false. There's no fucking evidence, like nothing. I mean, the Joy Taylor, I always think of the Joy Taylor one. The Joy Taylor thing was littered with like pretty solid evidence. Not to mention the fact that Skip Bayless left the network. The Shannon Sharp thing was littered with evidence. Even Shannon Sharp himself came out and made a statement on it. Like, we're pretty tough. Deshaun Watson had 24 accusers. Justin Tucker's was littered with evidence. In all of those cases, I was pretty willing to say, damn, this looks bad. This looks bad for Shannon Sharp. This looks bad for Justin Tucker. This looks bad for all these people. This looks bad for Deshaun Watson. This woman needs an iPhone recording that no one has seen yet, or she ain't getting shit. This is, they highlighted this. The police report from the Stefon Diggs incident details the assault. It details the assault on his private chef. I hate this wording. This is such salacious wording. Diggs smacks her, chokes her out, throws her on the couch, and then she told him that she still hasn't been paid. Do you have the survival instincts of a fucking hot dog? In your own story, you're an idiot. I don't know. Stefon Diggs getting home from practice and seeing his sandwich cut down the middle instead of diagonally. Stefon Diggs was treating his personal chef. Stefon Diggs being accused of felony assault and battery charges to a female. Seems like a great time to revisit this video. Stefon Diggs' accuser has been revealed. Bills fans were well aware that Stefon Diggs was a choke artist years ago. Okay. This is a banger. Shit. This is a banger. Unfortunately, that's a fucking banger. Oh, I'll never forget that play too. Gotta catch that football. Such a good ball. Such a good ball. Diggs and Cardi B now both have felony assault charges against women filed against them. Congrats to the couple. Well, they can bond over it, I suppose. It's a crazy 2025 right there. Brother messed up so bad, the whole family's being let go. I mean, this is basically what I said. No witnesses, no call to the police, no evidence of injuries, and her first reaction to an alleged assault is to immediately continue discussing pay. The lawyer for Diggs will barely have to lift a finger. It's exactly what I said. I wonder, does anyone dissent this opinion? Paul the Wall says not necessarily. Thank you, Paul. Thank you for your addition to the conversation, Paul. Fucking idiot. That guy can vote. Not necessarily. If this is actually all they got, the DA won't even prosecute. Agreed. Sounds like an OnlyFans model with an online chef certification. You could be physically assaulted without visual bruises. No one is disputing that, Paul. No one's disputing that. Paul's just rage baiting, I think. And he got me. He got me good. I do think there's an interesting angle to this. Like, if I was going to play conspiracy theorist, I'm going to play conspiracy theorist, actually. I'm going to give my just full-fledged opinion on this. It does kind of sound more like an OnlyFans model living in your house with an online chef certification. You will be paying me out for the season and the money you said you would give me. I mean, she's paid weekly by wire transfer. This is the most bizarre chef arrangement I've ever heard. It really is. At no point in any of this have I heard anything about, like, meals. And she's living there. It's so weird. There has to be more to this story, or maybe there's less. Maybe I am a conspiracy theorist. But, like, now, at the start of this, we mentioned this Christian Barmore domestic assault. It's funny how media works. Like, the Diggs case is just this gigantic story because, you know, he's dating Cardi B. He's always been in the news. It's an interesting story. This got swept under the rug completely. But I think for both of them, there's just a lot of implications for the playoffs. Christian Barmore faces domestic assault charge in Massachusetts, December 31st, guys. That's when I'm filming this video. This was published the same day I'm filming this video. This is very recent. He faced a charge of assault and battery on a family or household member. He's accused of assaulting the mother of his child on August 8th, per a criminal complaint issued on December 16th. August, September, October, November, December. There's a theme in a lot of these where people are taking a long time. That's victim blaming. People can take as long as they want to come forward with stuff. It just hurts your case. I hate to admit that that is how it works, but the longer you wait to come forward with something that's serious, the less likely it is that you're gonna get it. Now, this seems to be a little bit different, though. Even though the criminal complaint is issued on December 16th, it seems that Smith went to the Massachusetts Police Department on August 25th. She claims that Barmore physically assaulted her at their apartment in front of their 2-year-old daughter earlier that month. He became angry because the air conditioner was set too high of a temperature, then later took her phone and threw her down to the floor. If you're not a guy, you're not a dad unless you bitched about the thermostat. That seems to be the recurring theme in every household. If you, prior to having a child, you couldn't give a fuck else about the thermostat. As soon as you have a child, it's roid rage over the thermostat. That's a universal household occurrence, I think. Smith provided a photo to police of bruises she said were a result of Barmore's alleged assault. The accuser, who was 7 weeks pregnant at the time, told police that Barmore threatened to have his family members beat her up per the complaint. Now, the attorney representing Barmore said that we are confident that the evidence will demonstrate that no criminal conduct took place based on the facts in the law. We expect that this personal matter will be resolved in the near future, and both parties will move forward together. Comparing and contrasting this with the Diggs case, this seems significantly more serious and significantly worse for Christian Barmore just based on what we have. Right out the gates, she actually has photo evidence, allegedly, of bruises that were a result of this alleged assault. On top of that, she followed up with the police department soon after it allegedly occurred. This is the mother of his children, not a random private chef living in his home. And I think that's honestly, I think the most interesting story out of all of this is the fact that all of us are laser focused on what I believe to be a non-story. This Stefon Diggs, this is a cornball ass story. There is nothing to go on here. We'll see if something surfaces, but based on what we have, it's a cornball ass story. This Christian Barmore one looks a lot more serious, and it just isn't even being talked about. Funny enough, the only reason I learned about this Barmore story is it popped up as a news article related to the Diggs one. Like it was just like the video that played after the YouTube video, you know? Funny enough, both Diggs and Barmore are being represented by the exact same attorney, David Meyer, who has not commented on the charge against the defensive tackle, although he has already stated that Diggs categorically denies the allegations. I would expect him to say the exact same thing. Both incidents are under review of the NFL's personal conduct policy. Both players eligible to play at this time, as there has been no change to their status. This is going to be really interesting. It's really interesting for multiple reasons. If both the allegations are true, both of these guys will get suspended. Both could technically get jail time. And it would be horrible for the victims because they're fighting a serious uphill battle, it seems. And the other scenario that you always got to consider is the Deshaun Watson scenario. Deshaun Watson faced no technical legal trouble, but Deshaun Watson was shunned and suspended by the NFL. So the NFL basically has their own judge, jury, and executioner. They have their own personal conduct policy punishments that can be aside from the court of law. So there's a world where Diggs and Barmore both are like cleared of everything and still get suspended or fined by the NFL. That's all we got for now. I thought you guys might find this interesting because I found it very interesting. My final note with all videos like this, absolutely nothing you see on the internet is 100% true ever. Ever. So take it with a grain of salt. If something changes with this case, I'll be excited to update you guys on it. I love you. Thanks so much. As always, have a happy New Year. This is an interesting video for New Year's Eve, but I love you. I got memes for you tomorrow, so I'll see you then. Peace.